Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Al Rosen, how are you today? CAD-116-0C1 classroom.
Basic AutoCAD Fall. Today is our weekly Zoom classroom meeting, and we're covering Module 2, which maps to Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 in the textbook. Our learning objectives are to use appropriate values when responding to prompts, apply basic viewing methods, draw given objects using the line command, and use different point entry methods, as well as a number of these other commands like erase, undo, redo, oops. And then the other chapters, which are to use circles, arcs, ellipses, polylines, polygons, donuts, and splines. So as we look at the chapters here, we have our basic general design problem, which is this number 1 right here. And if you click on,
You missed it. Up. There it is, right underneath, underneath. There it is. Next one. That's a video and that's a PDF of it.
thank you. This is the general design, and it maps to the textbook by saying how to input absolute rectangular coordinates, relative rectangular, and relative polar. And so what we do for this exercise is we build this number 1 essentially, and we use point entry method. And so this is the 0 location of the CAD system. If we look at the drawing over here, this point right here, if I hover on it, it doesn't give me the absolute coordinate, but if I use one of these utilities like ID point, I can see that that point is at X position 2, Y position 1. And so if we come back here and we look at the instructions, we start off all 3 of these instruction lists at point 2, comma 1. And then if you hit the down arrow, type pound 2, comma 4, it will then input the coordinate for point number 2. And then if you hit the down arrow, type in pound 3, comma 4, it will then input the coordinate at point number 3. So it's not a fun assignment, but it's not that difficult either, because we want to make sure that people understand how coordinates work within a CAD system. And so you're to do the absolute method and the relative polar method. And that way you have an understanding. The relative rectangular coordinate method, we really don't use that much. And so that's how we'll map the textbook exercise on coordinate entry. Al, can you explain some of these other links?
Certainly. Right below you, please, Joe. Let's go down slowly. The first one is a video of the fundamentals, which is what Joe was talking about. If you click on it for a minute, Joe. And that's what was on the chapter that Joe is reading to you and explaining to you. And if you click on it, it will go into all the information for you. And it goes step by step what we were talking about previously.
Right, so we walk you through how these commands work, and you can actually see there's the construction and point by point how to input that. So that's a great job, Al. Let me pause this and let's go back to the home page.
And the below it is a general thing that Joe had up previously. Next to it, right below it, it has a video of the mechanical. That's the one. Go up a little bit, please, Joe.
Right, and that maps to this exercise right here. Okay, so you're to do the number 1 exercise and then the mechanical or the architectural. Here's the instructions for the mechanical.
And here's a step-by-step.
Module.
Okay. Same way with all our stuff. It's step by step by step by step.
So that goes to that construction method. And then if we back up,
go down a little further.
and here's our architectural assignment.
Right.
And then here's our architectural video.
And that will go through step-by-step architectural. Shows how the doors have to be cut off, plates of or chairs, desks, tables, how to put all the information into it, text.
And then the title blocks needed for the drawings, right, Al?
Yes, sir.
So the mechanical title block will use this template.
Yep.
And students are to make the drawing in model space. Remember, you can set up your grid and your snap, and be sure to turn on your menu bar or to hide it. And then we'll display that object on the main title block. And the drawing will look like this when it's complete. And I do believe we have the chair in the content section now for module 2. Is it
Yes.
right? So sometimes the furniture is in the content, and then there's the chair. So you can download that, and then you can open that. And if I go to a top view, I can click on it and I can say edit, copy with base point, and I'll make this the base point. And then if I go into my other drawing for my title block, and I'll need to download it because I have the mechanical one there.
And a lot of times we have it in multiple places. So if you can't find it in one place, you can find it in another place.
It's just the nature of this online development type work. And then I can paste it, edit, paste. So here's your chair. And Al has all these things set up for 3D, but in the top view, it's a 2-dimensional drawing. And so students will just go to the wall layer. They can go ahead and turn on the grid and the snap. We can move that chair over somewhere here. And then we can work through the instructions to start to create the room design. And I'm not sure what the dimensions are off the top of my head, but we'll just go out, take a look at.
You want to make sure you're on certain layers, please. Each layer has its own thickness. Finally.
So that content is there for you. Switching back to the main splash page. And students are to go through the textbook chapters, read chapter 3 and chapter 4. And to do this assignment, this one, or this one, the mechanical or the architectural. And then Al's got the links. Here's the fundamentals. General design. Mechanical. Module 2, bonus. There's some bonus assignments for mechanical. Not required, but you can get an extra 10% if you do the bonus out of your assignments. Here's the ARC tutorial. and the title blocks. And then here's the PDFs. And so if we click on this, a little small, but we can make it work.
I'm sorry, quick question.
Yes.
Do you mind showing me where you found the chair again? Like, where did you find the chair itself?
Sure. It's in Module 2, Content section. And
Okay.
I'll ask Al to add it to this list here after the meeting. So
Okay.
let's go there, Dominic. Let's see. Go to Content. And then Module 2. Right here.
Okay, awesome. Oh, and then the chairs, they're just already kind of in there for you to click and drag.
That's correct. It's like a symbols library of furniture.
Okay, perfect.
And then let's see here. Did I click on this one yet, Al?
Which one?
Let's take a look. I did. Let's try to look at 3.
Sorry about that. I was at someplace else.
So 3, this is your bonus. If you decide to do it, it's a mechanical project. And Al has some additional resources, some additional content on just basically drawing with CAD, additional PowerPoint information. All right. So once you have the assignments complete and you have them drawn, you'll have your CAD drawings, you'll have your absolute and relative polar drawing, which is just the number 1. And then you'll save that drawing. And I'm just going to save it with the same name here. And then you're to put that into the Dropbox. And so we'll just demonstrate that again. Let's make sure I'm viewing it as a student. Go to Assignments. And then on the Assignments tab, it'll be Module 2. You'll click on that. It will tell you how you're going to be evaluated in the rubric. And then you can, if you want, you can add some comments like, I have a question.
And if you don't want to grade it, just put that down also. Say, I have a question about whatever, and can you help me on this? And we'll be happy to answer for you, help you with it.
Right, or can I have an extension?
It's a two-way street for us. So it's just rating. We like to have it so students can send something in and say, we need help with this. So we have a drawing with it at the same time. So you can see maybe, you know, one thing didn't work out real good or something had to be done, whatever the case be.
Right. Right. So, you know, this is your chance to give some feedback. Al and I try to run these courses in a way that is positive because most of the people who are taking the courses are looking for a skill, and we understand that. And so the mechanical design CAD area is actually doing well in the pandemic. We're still getting people who are getting interviews and hired because there's a lot more content being put online for things like online catalogs and things like that, where they're using CAD drawings. All right, so the assignments and the due dates. Today, module 1 is due. And then we'll have to correct this, Al. Module 3 isn't due today, so I'm not sure why that's on there, but we'll take that out.
Yeah.
And then module 2 is due next week. Is that correct, Al?
Yes.
And we'll put module 3 would be due the week after that. So we'll make sure that this is set. Okay, and then the content area basically has a lot of the same things. You may notice this fundamentals link. This goes to our AutoCAD website. And prior to using D2L, we used to use this. There's a lot of great things if you're on your iPad or on your phone and you just want to do something positive with your time, then go ahead and study. Watch some of these YouTubes. They're about 5 minutes. They're great. They help you with things like coordinate entry and direct distance. And so here's a short video, and goes through. We do use other content because we have a lot of other instructors who made some really good videos. And so this shows things like direct distance, and they're quick because they're only a few minutes. So switching back there to the module 2. That was the AutoCAD website with some additional content for you. Our fundamentals link. And then the same information. That's the chair that you'll use. And these are the required mechanical and the 2 bonus assignments. Al, you want to talk a little bit about the quizzes?
Yeah, if you go up on top of it, the quizzes, you have 4 chances to take the quiz. It's automatically set to take the best out of 4. So you get a couple more active at this time. If you click on the first one.
And so the quizzes basically map to the content that we want you to know for each of the modules. You can use your computer. We do have the midterm set for an honor lock, but is these other quizzes, these are just kind of like homework, and so they're not set up with the honor lock system, but the midterm and the final will be. All right. Anything I missed, Al, that we need to include in our weekly briefing?
I don't think so. Let's go down a little further just to make sure. I think we've covered everything. Yep, so far, so good. Yep, keep going. We covered all that, Perfect. You want to go down to mod 1 real quick. There's the video we did on mod 1. So if you have any questions, it's there. And that's what we do in every single time.
Right, and I think some of these are showing some of the modules that aren't active yet because we're still on module 2. So we'll update that. So at this time, module 2. Module 2 is due next week, and that's our video recap for our Zoom meeting this week. I'm going to stop the video.
Thank
And we're
you.
going to open things up for questions.